Welcome back to our podcast, Hermione Fanfic Fanatics. You're here with Tracy, Carrie Ann, and Holly. And today we're going to be discussing Apparecium. That is how you pronounce it. By Lady Ken's 347. This fic has 14 chapters and 58,469 words. It is currently available on AO3 and fanfiction.net. I do not believe that there is an audio available for this yet, so shout out to all narrators out there. If you need a new fic to read, this is a good one to read. This is your warning that there will be spoilers, so please pause this and come back once you've read this fic to enjoy it with us. And let's get started.
So just to put it out there, like the premise of this one, Hermione is away from London for about 6.5 years. She comes back with a child in tow. Dun dun dun. Okay, so that's the premise.
This is a completed fic. It is not a work in progress. It is completed.
And this, according to the author notes, the story was not betaed, so there were errors and grammatical errors, and so if that's something that you can't really look past, this might not be the one for you. But I, for one, I usually can't look past them, and this one I can. I love this fic. So.
Yeah, see, I have a very hard time with grammatical errors, but also I do take into account that this is fan fiction. This is fan fiction. These authors have put their work out there just for fun. So I still thoroughly enjoyed this fic really, really well. There were a few inconsistencies that I'm like, okay, if you went back and reread this, you could fix them. So, but it is fan fiction. And I still really liked this fic. Really, really liked it. With it being so short, I was pleasantly surprised with how well it flowed.
Mm-hmm.
And the story was just very well rounded.
Yeah.
So, yes and no. I do feel, I think we're definitely going to get into it, but in my mind, Draco forgave so easy, and it seemed like all of the sudden, like, he was so mad, and then it was like nothing happened, like the next chapter. Like, I would have accepted a chapter of groveling from Hermione, but there wasn't really any. So in that case, that's the only instance that I thought, okay, this story moved a little fast in that, like it wasn't super easy to flow, but after that, it was fine. So it was just that one chapter, I think it was like chapter 2 or 3, where they like go to...
It wasn't where they go to Diagon Alley.
Yeah,
that's
and
where...
like, I would have expected more groveling, but nothing happened.
I fully agree with that. And I mean, throughout the beginning of it, there are a couple of, threats that he does, jab her way as far as, well, guess what? You take him back to the States, I'm sending my solicitors out for you. So don't even think about it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he just let it go.
Yes. But at the same time, she was also, I felt like coming from a mom point of view, I have a lot of mom guilt. And so I could relate to that as far as, I've kept him a secret from his father for 6 years. He had no idea he existed. I've been trying to work up the courage to tell him, and I just haven't been able to. And now it's blown up in my face. I feel very guilty and everything. And so kind of, I'm going back to America. No, you're not, because this is what's going to happen. Okay. And just kind of accepting the now new fate that she has of, okay, I guess you're right. Yeah, there's not a whole lot I can do to really mend this now. I don't know. Yeah. I felt like she accepted it in a way that, I don't know, just it ended up working, I felt like, and he didn't really have to go after her because she was willing.
Yeah,
that's so true. Bad.
It wouldn't be a Hermione if she wasn't like super willing at some point. So,
I love that. But yeah, no, I really liked, I just thought it was so funny how short it was that they were able to incorporate so much into it.
Right. I feel like it wasn't super rushed, which I really appreciated. Like, this was a short fic, but it didn't read like everything was rushed. Like the only thing that was rushed was what Carrie Ann said with him forgiving her a little too quickly. And in at the very end, last chapter, the author wrote a little. Apparently, this is like a rewrite of an original story that they had already done, and it was more angsty. And I'm kind of like, where's
I
that
want
one?
that one.
Right?
Where's that one?
I want that
I
one.
want to see it. But she said she like Lady Ken's 347 rewrote it, and she changed quite a bit, and I was just kind of like, now I want to find the other one. Where do I find it? Could not find it before this, but
I'm glad you looked for it.
Yeah,
So
I didn't look very hard.
If you want to send it to us, we would be more than happy to read it.
I know. Oh my goodness. Yeah, shout out to so many authors out there. You want to just send us your work, just do it. Please. I'll for one read it. anyway, so I mean, we've kind of talked about, yeah, we like how well-rounded it was. Liam Granger. Okay. This boy, I loved this little boy so freaking much. When I first started this, I thought he was kind of annoying. I'm like, he's annoying. And then, I'm like, no, he's not. He's just Draco. He's just little Draco. That's all he is. Like, he's just a little Draco. I thought he was a good mix of both as far as, okay, he loves to just read. That's obviously Hermione. But then everything else about him, I felt was so Draco Malfoy.
But it was still kid-like because
yes,
sometimes there were certain phrases and things that he would do that I was like, oh, my son does that now. And he's 3 years old. So it made sense to me that it wasn't like they were writing him to be an older age. Like it made sense if that, like he was a kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
I loved him. I also love a good Ginny Weasley, and this had a very good Ginny Weasley in it, I thought. Although, okay, I have a hard time with fics where Draco is really good friends with the Potters. I don't have a hard time with that concept, even though yes, it's very non-canon compliant. I mean, Hermione is non-canon compliant, but with him just being as good of friends as he was in this, I thought it was a little weird. Like to the point of he comes in, he's calling Ginny Gin, and he gives her a kiss on the cheek. I'm like, okay, you're too friendly.
Especially since they did that in the first chapter, and then he didn't really do that later.
He did it. He did.
He did
at their pickup Quidditch game. He did it again.
Oh, that's true.
I was like,
yeah, okay.
I was like, what? What?
I think it's more fun watching that relationship.
Yes.
Slowly become a relationship, and then we read
true.
it, and it was
they've
just slappy in the face.
They've had like 6 years of this where he's been a consultant for the DMLE, so he's been working with Harry. I mean, yeah. So I
liked it. I thought it was cute. Oh, that's so cute that he's already best friends with Ginny. Then there's no awkwardness.
I mean, I like that too. I do like that. I'm not saying that I don't like it. It's just
very different than what
it's very different.
Read.
Yes. Yep. No. Usually it's hi ferret. I mean, did she still call him a ferret? I think she did.
I think at one point during the Quidditch game, right?
Yeah, someone called him a ferret during the Quidditch game.
Somebody always calls him a ferret, of course. Of course. Anyway. How
are you guys with like pregnancy trope or like child related? Because I know it's pretty controversial in the I guess fan fiction world, not just Hermione, where some people either love or hate pregnancy tropes, whether it's like a surprise pregnancy or anything. People just hate it. Like there's so many like opinions about it out there, and so I want to get your. I mean, obviously you read this, so it might not be the worst.
Nobody come for me, but I'm totally okay with it. I think that it adds like an extra level to things. There are some times that I just want to read about like especially when you get like the single parent kind of like feel to it. Like I think that's so great, and I just love that. And so bring them on. But I feel like it's not like an every fic thing. Like it definitely has to be spread out.
Yeah, and it's very like, okay, that's I'm in the mood for this. I want to read a pregnancy trope. That's usually how I am, and this is coming from someone who is childless, so I do still enjoy a pregnancy trope, though I don't always approve.
Because it brings out different emotions when you
Yeah,
read it.
it does. Absolutely does. I definitely fall in the category of I have to be in the mood specifically. Okay. And that's also a lie though too, because I love them. I really do love them. But at the same time, it also depends on the story. The storyline for me is huge. Like I have to be into the story to be able to appreciate that. This one, absolutely, it took my heart. Love it. Love it to death. It was just really well portrayed. But then I mean, I feel like there's a lot of fics out there that it's just when it's like darker and they have this trope, I don't feel like the two mix very well together. Not for me. Not for me. And so I don't know. It puts me in a bad mood. So it depends on the fic itself for me. But yes, I do like the pregnancy child related fics.
Well, and they also need to be properly tagged, because if you're
Yeah.
not reading, or if you're reading one that, okay, I'm not really, not necessarily that you're not in the mood, but when you just get surprise pregnancy when you were not
Yeah.
expecting it, like when you don't read that tag and you get surprise pregnancy, you're always just kind of like, or the faded, oh no, I feel sick in the morning, just like,
I
okay,
hate that when all of a sudden it's like one morning I'm sick. Oh, boom, pregnant. Like, no, that's not how it works.
So that's literally whenever I read any of these fics, when anytime something like this happens, like, God, where's the tag? Where's the tag? Is it in here? And then she's not pregnant. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Thank God.
Funny. But I do. I go looking for it.
Wasn't this like one of the first tags?
I think so, yeah.
Good.
Gosh, it's in the synopsis.
That's
she
true.
has a child.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Secret Baby is like the 5th. One night stand, accidental pregnancy. So yeah, it's pretty quick. It's pretty right in your face.
Kind of blown through my first page of notes.
That's okay. You have 3.5 more. Here, I will jump in again. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It made me really sad to think of, like, Hermione bugged me at the very beginning of this for some reason. Like,
yes,
me too.
I didn't like her like self-deprecation, and I don't know. She bugged me. It did make me sad to think of her like raising a child without her friends. And
or her family,
very much so.
Her mom and dad were still obliviated.
And that didn't get resolved, which made me sad.
That was a funny comment that they wrote in there. She had acronyms for it now, that when she referred to their obliviation, BO and AO. Before obliviation and after obliviation. I'm like, oh, okay. Just funny. BO. I'm 12. Anyway, but it I was upset with her too, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, put myself in her shoes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, okay, when we're talking about fight or flight, I'm definitely a flight. I will run away from my problems. Anyway, but at the same time, I can never see Hermione actually falling out of touch with Harry, no matter what.
Yeah.
That's something that's like, to me, is canon. I don't know if that's a canon concept, but I can't see it. I feel like Harry and Hermione are always together. They're so close. But in this one, I mean, him and Ginny were the only two that knew that she had a child, but they knew nothing about him, because she wouldn't even share any of that with them. She left 2 days after she found out she was pregnant. Like, ooh, that's a
fast.
Very brash decision.
And I don't quite understand her reasoning for just leaving. Like, I don't get it. Like, even reading the whole thing twice, I'm still kind of like, why does she just up and run away to New York? Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Either. Was she that afraid of like the Malfoy family and raising a child?
it just doesn't fit with Hermione Granger's personality throughout all the books. I mean, she's always been the person that confronts every problem and tries to fix it, whatever. She doesn't seem like the person to run, but at the same time I'm like, it's such a completely different thing that's so personal, and I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I can't really say anything towards it because I've never been in that situation. I have absolutely no idea. And so I don't know. Like, I feel bad for thinking that, oh, why would you do that? But at the same time going, oh, girl, yeah, you made the right decision. You do what you need to do for yourself. But it made me more sad though than mad for her. Made me feel more sad.
Yeah, she even mentions like later in the book that in the story that she what was it? She was listing reasons for Draco, like what she'd be leaving behind in New York if she moved, and she, like, in her mind she went, I just ran out of things to say. Hopefully he doesn't, keep asking me, because she's her job, my cat. And it was like that was like all the reasons she gave for staying in New York. So she's like, oh, I hope he doesn't ask about or any more reasons or whatever. I do not remember how he said it, but I didn't write the exact quote down. So
no, that's fine. That's fine.
Shame on you.
I know. I'm sorry.
You have one job, literally, and here you are.
Yeah. Jeez, Tracy.
Sorry,
I'm reading.
I know, it's
great. Oh my gosh.
Ron bashing. I'm a Ron hater, and I don't even care.
You stand on that hill, I'll stand on mine, which is across the way.
I'm in the middle, like in the dip between both of the hills.
I feel like no, I'm in that dip with you, Tracy, actually, because I love Ron Weasley, but Hermione makes you hate him. I mean, absolutely. But okay, here we go. First mention, remain nameless. Remain nameless. In our canon universe, remain nameless. I love Ron. I love Ron in that fic so much because it's like, I don't know. I feel like they're just so much more mature. And so when there's so much Ron bashing and he's being an idiot, and he's being an idiot, I'm just like, okay, this is not Ron Weasley. It was Ron Weasley when he was 14, but it's not Ron Weasley now. He has grown up. But at the same time, it is fun to Ron bash because he does not belong with Hermione. Okay, go ahead, Carrie.
Okay, get ready. You're going to hate me, and I am going to accept no criticism on this, okay?
Fine.
I love Remain Nameless, but the Ron in that Remain Nameless does not make as much sense to me as the Ron in this. This Ron, to me, is what I sincerely imagine him doing. He, the whole time, I felt like through the books, was kind of the same way of like, oh, I'm in Harry and Hermione's shadow, and he was always wanting to do something of himself. And so the idea that he sold a book and was like trying to be like in the spotlight, like, to me, this is how he would have acted more than the Remain Nameless. And so the Ron bashing in this was like top tier, way to go, because that's how I see him. That's how I see him, as this total asshole who just wanted to make a quick buck and wanted to say that he was different than Harry and Hermione. And I thought there wasn't enough, honestly. His whole family just like Ginny at the birthday party, when she was just like, yeah, like, that's my brother. I would have been like, get the fuck out of my house. Like, no. Sorry.
So
I
you don't
I got a little bit heated there.
Well, you must not like the fact that he had a slight redemption at the end of this. Very teeny tiny one, but he started going up the hill.
Yes.
To me, it was like too little too late, man. Like, the damage has been done. Get out of my
life. It usually is in these fics. Too late. It really is. And that's the thing. Okay. I like how Tracy says that you're in the little divot in the middle of the two hills of Ron bashing and loving Ron. I feel like I am there too, because I do love a good fic like this where it bashes Ron, because I love Draco. I love him.
Especially when he went and opened the door shirtless. That's the pettiness I love.
Oh, I was like, what part are you?
It was like the first chapter when he goes and opens the door.
Chapter 2.
Chapter
Yep.
2,
Yeah.
whatever. Beautiful.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that I thought it was hilarious that they did what they set out to do, and then they shagged anyway. So
Get a girl. If he looked
well,
like
I mean,
that, like
she
on
walks
the
out.
bed,
She walks out, and she's like, "Whoa!" I love how honest she was. You you're fit. You look good. The abs and the biceps, yeah. I
he
agree.
even flexed. Didn't he say that he like stood up and like flexed?
Well, when he answered the door, he was flexing.
I love that.
Awesome. That is so funny. But yeah, I do. I love Draco. And so it is. It's so easy to Ron Bash. And when we're trying to bring somebody kind of evil that's like an evil ex, because you kind of want that. It's so easy to, oh, that's Ron. Ron Weasley, evil ex. Yeah.
You know what I really liked about this one too?
Mm-hmm.
Normally I really like fics where Pansy is really nice, but I also liked how this one kind of addressed that they have a slightly unhealthy relationship. And I was glad that Hermione kind of like stood her ground and was like, I'm gonna be here, so figure it out. Like, I liked that.
Mm-hmm. I did too. Because yes, I like Pansy, but I also I usually hate Pansy so much. It was I'm trying to think. I don't remember what my second Hermione that I ever read was, but the first one I read, and I read it so many times, was Remain Nameless, and so I hated Pansy because she's hated in that one. And
Number 2.
but then I read another one. I actually read one. What's the ship between Ron and Pansy called?
Ron and Pansy?
Have I read one of those?
Ooh,
yes,
guess
I
what?
have. Yes, I have.
Guess what? My second favorite on my whole list of all the Hermione's I've read is a Ron and Pansy ship.
That's disgusting.
Guess what? I'm gonna make you both read it, and you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. It's The Disappearances of Draco Malfoy by Speechwriter. That is my second favorite of all time.
Because I don't know why I asked.
There's no favorite above Remain Nameless, but that is number 2. And the reason it's number 2 is because in my head, I feel like J.K. Rowling could have written this as book number 7. Like legit, except for maybe 1 or 2 small scenes from it. Okay. That's it. The rest of it is so well thought out and just a complete rewrite because it's a Hermione of book number 7. And it is fantastic. Love it.
Maybe one day.
I will make you. We're going to discuss it on here. We are. It's going to happen. I haven't put it on our, oh, we should read this soon list because I don't want it to be torn apart yet.
I don't want it to be torn apart.
I'm not ready. It's my second favorite one. Out of all the Hermione's I've read, it has stayed number 2. Number 2. I don't think it'll ever move either. No. But that's the thing. I love story. I am here for the story. I like the story. If it has a good story,
you're going to struggle for our one-shot one then.
Oh my gosh.
Our one-shot episode is going to be yours.
Here. I'm going to be here for the one-shots as far as, hey, authors out there, this is a really good idea. This is a great idea. Let's run with it. Write 300,000 words about it, okay?
Oh my God.
A 300,000 word fic, pure smut, just like a one shot. I don't want a story. I want a pure smut.
Again, go read On the Nature of Daylight. That's the one you need to read.
They kind of have those though. They've got like fics that are, each chapter is basically its own one shot, but it's like 50 chapters of just porn. Totally read those.
When are we reviewing those?
It has such a wide variety though, and some of it's
would be so much of, okay, let's move on to chapter 2. Let's move on to chapter 3.
There's a lot of kinks in those that are very questionable. So it depends your level of that. Carrie Ann, me and you are fine. It's Holly that I don't want to like scar her sweet little brain.
You guys are so funny. You're so funny. Oh, it's hilarious.
Anyways, I guess back to this one. You've veered off course a little bit.
Okay. Hang on. Sorry.
Apologies, I keep.
At one point, this I think was like during chapter 3 when Draco's pissed off at her and he keeps throwing little jibes at her of, well, you kept him from me for 6 years, whatever. And she had thrown back at him, well, I'm a mudblood, so that was one of her reasons that she left, or Muggleborn. I don't think she actually uses the word mudblood.
I was gonna say,
I like it. I like it when she uses the word mudblood. I feel like it brings so much feeling into it. I go, yes, girl, you tell him. Anyway, but he says the line, your parents could be bloody trolls for all I care. It reminded me of Carrie Ann.
Reminded you of me? What?
This made me think. It made me rabbit hole. Okay, it made me rabbit hole. Your parents could be bloody trolls for all I care. And so then I'm imagining how that'd be really funny if Hermione was a troll. I thought of you and Shrek.
I need to clear up something right now for all the listeners, okay? Listen, it's not that I have an unhealthy obsession with Shrek, okay? I feel like I am completely normal. I do reference Shrek quite a bit. I read a couple questionable books. One titled Get in My Swamp. That's all I'm going to say, okay? It wasn't bad. But he's an ogre, not a troll.
I'm aware. And then it also reminded me of a Harry Potter musical because everybody calls her a troll. It's really funny. That's all. That's all that line brought to me. I laughed out loud when I was reading it because my first thought was Carrie.
I don't even care. It means that I'm on your mind. So I don't even care. I'm going to take it as a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's great. And I mean, so moving on. I feel like I was in a catch-22 during a lot of this fic. I mean, going back to, her decision to run and to never say anything and to continuously hide it. I'm like, I felt like it was excessive, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I don't know what I would have done because you kind of go through all of the things going through her mind of she is Muggleborn. She now has a child with one of the highest ranking pureblood families in wizarding history. She has, it's just so many different things. Even though like during that night he portrayed, completely different as far as there was a loud noise as far as how it was growing up with him. He was not the same person. And it was obvious. And it was obvious to her that he wasn't. I mean, she wrote him, so there was that aspect of it.
I'd write him whether he changed or not. I don't give a fuck.
How eloquently put.
Yeah, thank you. I know. I'm really good at that.
Okay, I want to bring back to Liam for a second. One, I'm okay with the name. A lot of times I cringe at the names that they choose. Don't hate the name Liam. It fit the time period. Anyway, early 2000s, whatever. Okay. How he always would say, hi, I'm Liam Granger. How do you do? Mom makes me say that, but you don't have to tell me. I don't really care.
I don't really care.
Like that's
awesome.
I was dying. I love him. I love him. That's all. It's fine.
Should we bring up the moment that I cried and I Marco Polo'd you guys that I cried?
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, we Marco Polo for everybody listening. And I sent them a little quick Marco Polo that I cried. It was not bawling, but not like one glistening tear. It was a good amount of tears.
It was like Tracy crying.
She does cry.
And everything. It's fine.
Holly, I'm waiting for your Marco Polo where you're crying.
Hey, I did like yesterday, didn't I? I was tearing up.
But it wasn't fic related, was it?
Yeah, it was. Of course it was fic related. What else did I cry about?
Anyways, Anyways, it's just at one point Liam says, can I call you dad to Draco? And Draco's like, I would like that, very much. And then he goes, hey, dad. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, don't call anyone else but. He's like, don't worry, I won't. It's so dumb. Why is that so cute to me? I don't get it. Just that little part made me cry.
Because it's so cute.
Sweet.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's sweet.
It's
and
very
plus,
sweet.
He's, you can kind of see that he's a little boy of not many words. So him kind of asking for what he wants is a really big step. And that was so
he just wants his dad to call him Bud. Like, that's so cute.
Liam Granger, he was just hilarious to me. When they're walking down Diagon Alley and he's like, my mom rode a dragon out of Gringotts and she never lies. So she's not lying about this, except when she lied about me to you and you to me. The amount of times that she yelled Liam at him the whole fic, it was so funny. I loved him so much.
and in that same Diagon Alley. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, I skipped forward in my notes. Hang on. Okay, Liam and Draco, kind of backing up a teeny tiny bit. Them meeting for like the first official time when Liam comes out of his room all dressed all spiffy.
Yes.
And he tells him like first impressions are like mom tells me first impressions are important. And I just was just like my heart. I was like, oh my god, he's so cute. Oh, stop. Yes. So yeah, anyway. Let's see.
I thought it was really funny that when he starts talking to her about, okay, when you guys you're coming back to England, you're gonna move here, and when we get married, and she's like, oh, hold up. Excuse me? What do you really think we're getting married? What? I thought it was funny, and I thought it matched Draco and his family, because obviously they're an old pure bloodline. Like, this is what happens. I related a lot to the Pride and Prejudice era. As far whatever era that is. What? Back a couple hundred years, right?
Okay, yeah.
What time period was that?
Like
what is that called?
Era? Regency?
Regency era. It reminds me of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Why is this so funny?
I was trying so hard to understand what you were saying.
I feel like this took a weird turn. Like, could have just been like, it makes sense. He was all family. They just marry whoever they get pregnant.
Fine. Anyway, oh my word. And they have a son. So he just automatically assumes like, oh yeah, this is just what's done.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, let me bring you back to the present day. And inform you that no, this is not going to be happening. I just thought it was funny that like he's like, oh yeah, I have my solicitor writing up this whole what was it, a prenuptial? Is that what he was having him write up? And well, we'll get married or whatever. My mother thinks that this would be, well, no, not his mother. He mentioned something though during that time about a specific time that would be a good time to get married. And then I think Narcissa also mentions when she thinks a good wedding day would be.
A June wedding day. Yeah.
And she's just like, ha, 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 yeah, no. And in my head, I'm going, ha, 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 yes, please. Please marry me.
How amazing Narcissa was in this fic. I loved her. I loved her and Lucius's like banter of like he hated Granger and the whole idea, and she was like, "Don't ruin this for me, Lucius."
I liked how much he changed.
I loved him in this.
Yeah.
I have notes. Let me go forward.
Going back to Narcissa, yes, I loved that she was immediately like, "That's my grandson. Don't talk bad about him. Like, I want to spend time." But she also wasn't like super overbearing because I think she asked. She's like, I would love to come and spend time with you, like if that's okay. And like I loved that.
What Liam said when they were all kind of arguing, like, you tried to trap my son. You know, you're not the first woman to.
What Lucia said, not Liam.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting to that. Yes, what Lucia said to Hermione about, you know, you're trying to trap my son for the money. You're not the first person to try, kind of thing. And Liam says, "Well, Mummy doesn't need money. I have so much. I'll just share it with her." Yes. And I was like, "Oh, sweet boy, stop! He loves his mommy."
Yes. Oh, I loved that so much. I loved the imagery that the author was able to incorporate when they go down to his heritage vault, which, you know, he's like, oh yeah, this is all Liam's now. You know, they open the vault and it's being described as mountains of galleons, and right in the middle is a huge treasure chest overflowing with jewels. And I'm like,
love it.
Damn, hidden treasure.
Well, and Liam grabs a tiara. Mommy, look, a tiara for you. And I was like, oh, because he's so mad at his mom, but then he's still thinking about her, like, oh, Mom, it's a tiara. Here. It hurt. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm the childless one, and I'm just like, oh. So it's fine.
You're more than welcome to babysit my child any day.
Take any of mine.
Just
pick them. Pick one. Return them whenever you want, I guess.
Maddie,
you want to take her?
Do you guys know what you have to do for me to watch your kids? Move back.
Damn it.
If
I ever get rich, it's happening. Moving back.
Though honestly, don't move back. Let's all just pick another state and go live there.
There we go.
Already did. So
exactly. Like I don't.
We need a new state for all three of us.
We could just join Carrie Ann. We'll join her.
Ben wants to get a compound. No, we're not doing that.
I mean, that's a good way to get me and Ollie there.
No.
Anyway, yes, Lucius. I loved watching or reading him come around, and because he's a very irredeemable character, just in general.
Yes.
And so reading fics that has him kind of redeemed is weird. But I kind of hate it because not everyone should be redeemed, but then he was redeemed so well in this that I'm just like,
I feel like the author has to do it correctly.
Yeah. And this
was good
yes.
Because it wasn't because of anything specific. It was just because he now has a grandkid.
Yep.
And that changes people.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you wanted to or not.
Yeah, we won't talk about the boomer situation of they love their grandchildren more than their children. It's fine. We won't talk about that.
Anyway. My parents are pretty open about that. They call me and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to you. Put Joey on the phone." And then when we used to go over, they'd be like, "Oh, my sweet boy." And they're like, "Oh, hi you." I was they're very open about it. They don't care about me.
Oh, that's so funny. Talking about kids, they're just so disgusting. I'm relating it back to this fic. I am relating it back. James spitting in Albus's mouth made me gag.
You know what?
I can handle.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was gonna say I grew up with two brothers. Do you guys have brothers?
I have the baby of the family is my only brother.
Okay, so I have okay.
I have an older brother and a younger brother, and I have seen that exact instance played out. I'm not joking. I have seen worse than that too. And so that to me, I was like, that makes total sense.
Oh yeah. Oh, it makes sense. It's just gross.
Mm-hmm.
I can handle poopy diapers every single day, any day. You get me even close to a booger that my daughter picks out of her nose. Nope. Nope.
My thing is mucus too. I can deal with poop and vomit and all that.
Can't.
Anyone someone I am related to used to like hawking a loogie in front of me because it would always make me gag. And
is that the thing?
Yes.
Thank you so much for lifting your mic for that. I appreciate it.
I didn't want it to be super loud, but I wanted to see if
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Dude, I don't even do that. I don't even do that when I'm sick. I can't do it. ugh. Anyway, yeah, I gagged. No, no, no. And then she yells at him, and there it goes, plops down right into his mouth. Can't do it. Can't do it. Ugh. Anyway, sorry.
This
Moving
author
on.
really wrote children well, basically.
Yeah, they really did. They really did.
It was well written that way.
Yeah,
so.
they made sense as children.
Yep, I totally agree with that. Something different about this fic. I don't think I've ever read a fic where Hermione Granger does not have a fit about house elves. She didn't have a fit about the house elves in this fic. I don't know if you noticed.
That's true. All she said was like, "Oh, Liam's gonna love them."
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That was it. And it was like
Spew was mentioned, but not
was it
in her.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was.
Spew.
I remember.
Yeah, because it was just
it was Harry talking about what she was doing or something and saying, "Are you doing
or,
something with Spew?" Or I can't remember.
It was like her Muni. It was her where her work is. Like, what does that mean? It's like it's giving me Spew flashbacks, kind of thing.
Yes. Yep. Yep. What does Muni stand for again? Magical
University.
There we go. There we go. I always ask that about the DMLE. I finally figured that one out though.
Department of Magical something.
Law Enforcement.
Yep. I was like, what is it? What was the next? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I know. I'm every time that I read it, I go, what? What is it? Yeah. I finally have it figured out. Finally have it figured out.
Keep going. Like I know it's just the wizard equivalent to cops, so it's not
yeah, I think I just like I'm like, yeah, I know what that is, and just skip over. I don't even like pay any attention.
I don't care.
I love that we have Quidditch playing Draco again.
With the addition of teaching his son how to fly. It was so cute.
That one I had one glistening tear come out.
Yeah, no, just love him. I thought it was hilarious that Liam is sitting on the ground waiting and watching, and then it's like, I want to play. No, I don't want to play with you. I want to play on Uncle Harry's team because
Draco's like,
they're
he's
gonna
making
win.
me jealous.
I loved it. He was definitely like, you could tell right from the get-go, he was pure Slytherin. Purely Slytherin. I loved it. I'm like, it's just Draco Malfoy. Young Draco Malfoy. It's great.
Even at his birthday party when he was the Sorting Hat and he was like messing everybody up on purpose, I was like, that's a Slytherin move, man.
I loved it.
Well, one of the very first things we see of Liam is when he meets his cousins. I'm just gonna call them the cousins. Albus and whatever. James. Sorry, I knew that. Liam was looking down his nose, even though he was the shortest.
Yes,
like that's how he was looking at them, and I was like, Draco. Like that's just Draco.
Yep.
Can you imagine a little 6-year-old coming at you? Like,
it just sounds great. I don't think I could keep a straight face. Just start laughing.
Well, that's because you would, because you're a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, not really. We all know I'm a chosen Gryffindor. Loud and proud. I wrote down this quote back to this same thing where they're playing Quidditch, and Draco is taking him. It's his first time on a broom. She felt her ovaries bulge and burst inside her from Liam calling Draco his dad. Was this the same time? Hang on. Was that the same moment?
Yeah, we're like watching them on a broom.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, yep, I can relate. I
thought it was so funny. Ooh, oh dear, be careful. and then she wasn't. So
she wasn't careful.
Oh man. Something else that crossed my mind with this. So when they were talking about Draco's work and he's a consultant for the DMLE, my mind just started buzzing of all these different TV shows where, there's all these consultants for all these different detective agencies.
He's like Sherlock, basically.
Yes. And so I'm going, somebody could take this fic and write I don't know, a rom-com Dramini about him being a consultant for the DMLE. I have all these ideas in my head, guys. I wrote it down. I want to know about Draco's consultant life of the DMLE. Maybe there's one out there.
There probably is.
There probably is.
To find it eventually.
See, the problem is that you guys are talking about like consultants, and my first thought is only because I watched it recently was Silence of the Lambs. He was technically a consultant.
That's true.
Not the right vibe.
But you're not wrong. It's fine.
And right there is why I am a Slytherin. We'll just slide that right in.
Oh, hey. Another thing about this fic I thought was really funny because we all have this not fight, but Carrie Ann, you stand on one hill, I stand on the other hill, and Tracy is definitely in between. How do we pronounce Lucius's name?
Lucius.
Do you know what I'm referring to in this fic? He asks, "What's his name? What's your name?" Lucius, and he says
goes like Lucifer.
Lucius. He pronounces it Lucius, and then he goes, "It reminds me of Lucifer," but then it's like, but he pronounced it Lucius, so he pronounced it Lucius. I'm assuming. I'm only assuming. So, but that's the thing. I pronounce it Lucius when I read it, but then no, because that's not true. Because when I see his name, usually I go Lucius because that's how Voldemort says in the movies. So I'm like Lucius, but I've always called him Lucius. Like Lucian from ACOTAR.
Which can be argued as Lucian.
I was gonna say, hold on.
I know we've had this discussion.
No, that's how you say his name. No. Don't do my man dirty like that.
Okay, what is it? Please enlighten me.
Lucian.
Okay. I was like, wait a
100%.
I agree. I'm with you on that one.
Anybody who calls him Lucian?
I call him Lucian.
Lucian and Elaine.
You know what?
No
I
sense.
listen to the audiobooks and they call him Lucian, but they also have weird names. Yes, I know. They also have weird names for lots of characters. So.
I'm gonna write an angry letter to the editor and be like, so listen, never again.
It's funny. Something else that I liked about this fic that I feel like makes a good Hermione is when they're having spontaneous dinner with the elder Malfoys and Hermione is absolutely putting Lucius in his place and Draco looks at Hermione with pride. Of course you do.
Well, he doesn't stand up to his own parents, so I guess he just gets all hot and bothered when she does. Question mark?
I think so.
Which is just a little bit backwards because in my head, because he's a dominant, he would be the more like in that sense, it's almost like he's this little submissive, like rolling over and showing his belly of like, oh, it's so hot when like she takes like when she puts them in their place. But no, I don't want that. No.
Yeah, but knowing
but I read it and he's like, oh, he looked at her with pride. I'm like, I love that.
Knowing how Lucius was as a father, though, shitty one, I kind of makes sense that he wouldn't quite like put up a fight just because he's just tired.
Used to not winning. Yeah.
So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I do that.
I like fics where Molly is good. She was good in this fic. I like those fics because I feel like everyone has their own opinions about Molly. I have a mixed opinion about Molly. I love and I hate Molly Weasley. Very much so. I have a lot of hate and I have a lot of love. But I liked her in this because, when Ron shows up to Hermione's party, uninvited, unannounced, drunk off his ass, and she's like, "Oh, to hell with you. Get it," just is angry as can be, and when she even greeted Hermione, she wasn't angry that she had been like, yes, she was like, I've just been worried. I've been worried sick, that you've not been okay. Yeah, you need to eat. I love that. That's Molly Weasley. That's my motherly Molly Weasley that I love. And there wasn't anything bad about her in this fic. She's very, very easy to, is the word vilify? Is that the
Yeah.
word? Is that a word? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, right along with Ron. And so it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things. So I liked that she was good.
I kind of wish there was a little bit more
Yeah.
because she was such a mother figure to Hermione growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because she spent so much time with the Weasleys. So I'm a little
Yeah.
bit upset that she just didn't be like, "Hey, Liam, I'm your grandma now."
Yes.
So,
Especially since Hermione doesn't have her parents.
Well, I feel like, so Molly Weasley in my head, yes, I completely agree with that, especially, you know, after the war, she obliviated her parents. She doesn't have her parents anymore. Molly would have obviously stepped in as that role, even after breaking up with Ron. I feel like she would have absolutely, you know, and then when Hermione just disappears, I feel like Molly would have searched the ends of the earth to go and find her. That's Molly Weasley in my head because she's one of her children. Like, I just, you know,
she's a
I
busy
feel like she
know-it-all.
would have at least communicated somehow, found a way to communicate with her to make sure she was okay. You know, where are you? Can I come help you? No, no, no. Okay. Well, you need to
Weekly
let me
letters.
Especially
know.
if Harry
Like,
and Ginny knew that she had a daughter.
Yeah.
Wouldn't Molly have like gone to Ginny and been like, "Hey,
Where is Hermione?
where is she?" Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, Molly would take at least like we have to have weekly letters at least.
Yes.
So
yeah. That's I feel like that is canon Molly Weasley. That is how I imagine she would actually be. So I do wish that there had been a little bit more, but with it being such a short fic and for what it was, adding the little bit that we did get to see of her, I appreciated. And that she wasn't an asshat like her son. Because we've read plenty of fics where she is.
Exactly. Like,
I have.
even just the books, she's an asshat. So
yes, and that's the thing. It's like that's why I have so many mixed feelings about her. Yeah, we've discussed this before about book number 5, Molly Weasley in book number 5,
and 4.
And 4. Oh my gosh, how did I forget 4? Oh,
we
we
try
hate
and forget
Molly
it.
Weasley. What am I thinking?
That took a quick turn.
Never mind. I hate her.
She's pretty
Yeah.
she's pretty bad. Like
Ugh.
but I mean, but she it's hard not to like her. She's just hard not to love her. But because I don't know. I kind of have to tolerate her because my favorite character of the entire Harry Potter series, and I will die on this hill, is Arthur Weasley.
Oh, I love him.
I will take no criticism. Nothing. You cannot change my mind. He is the greatest character in the Harry Potter universe. It's fine.
I don't know who mine is. I'm thinking. I don't know if I've ever declared.
You psychos. His name's
Draco Malfoy?
Yeah, ends with Draco. Draco. What are you doing on this podcast if he's not your favorite? Let's be real.
Well, book Draco is different than fan fiction Draco.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. No,
I love them both.
Ginny might be my favorite character.
That tracks with you though, honestly. It's fine.
Me?
No, with me.
Oh,
saying that I like book
good.
and fan fiction Draco. They're both the same. They're great. I love them.
I love Ginny Weasley, but maybe it's because I relate. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. I love Ginny in the books. Ginny is so great. Oh, they did her dirty in those movies. They did her so dirty. She is not the same person in the movies.
Absolutely not.
At all. She is her snarky, hilarious, amazing self. Love her.
Okay, back to this.
Yes.
Speaking of relating, goodness gracious, I really related to Liam, especially after Hermione mentioned to Draco that he has abandonment issues, and I was like, kid, same. I had such a very happy childhood. My parents loved me and gave me all the attention I needed and everything, and I still have abandonment issues. And so I was, as soon as she brought that up, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like it's articulated in an actual like thing. Other people feel this way. It was great. Anyway, it was lovely to experience that or share that experience with a 6-year-old in this fanfiction.
I love that. I'm glad it can be appreciated that way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like everyone has abandonment issues, at least to a degree.
Yes.
Because I think about it, because I'm like, when I really think about it, I go, I don't think I have abandonment issues. But then if I really think about it, if my husband were to just abandon me, I'd have major, I mean, obviously, yes, I'd have major abandonment issues. But I don't know. But yes, no, I totally agree with that, because I mean, even as a kid, I felt that way when my mom would drop me off at school and I'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to go today." Well, you have to get out of the car. Nope. Nope, not getting out. You're getting out and I'm driving away. No, no, you're not. So, I mean, to a degree, yes, I fully feel that.
I don't think I can relate. I think, I mean, I had a good childhood, good parents and all that, but I couldn't wait to get away. And even like you were talking about, like, oh, if your husband left, I'd be like, bye. Obviously, you don't deserve me if you can't stay. I don't know. I don't know.
We will make sure Ben skips this episode.
Oh, he knows. He
He
knows.
knew. He knew when we got married.
Yeah, 100%. I always tell him, like, if you can't handle me, your option is death. Because, like, I'm not gonna give you a divorce. You knew what you were gonna do. Like, you knew what you were doing when you married me. So if you want to get out, you know the one way. And he's always like, well, you see.
Oh man. Oh,
God.
it's funny. I liked that Ron was basically Gilderoy Lockhart. Did we mention that?
No.
He's
I mean,
basically
kind of.
Gilderoy Lockhart in a way. I mean, maybe not. No, he is. I really feel like he was, because he's so full of himself and all he wants is fame and glory. And he writes a book about it. He is close with the Daily Prophet. Just he likes to be in the spotlight. And it reminded me of Gilderoy Lockhart.
Hmm.
It did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see why
That's all.
why you're making the connection.
Huh.
I can see how you are making that
See, I
connection.
felt, and this is the thing too. I felt like Ron and Pansy would have been a perfect ship in this. They would, because we suspect that Ron is the one who let
Yeah.
slip to the Daily Prophet that, oh, hey, Hermione and Draco had a baby together.
No,
But then it ends up
it's
being
Pansy.
Pansy. Well, yeah, exactly. But they think it's Ron, and she goes and she berates him
Oh.
for it in his old bedroom. And he's like, it really wasn't me this time. And she's like, he wasn't lying. So it really wasn't him. And then she figures out in the end that, oh, it was Pansy. Freaking Pansy. Anyway, I felt like it could have been easily. Maybe we could have easily turned this into Ron and Pansy.
No.
They were perfect for each other in this.
No.
Yes, they were.
I don't think Pansy would have
Hey, maybe
used
not.
him to wipe
Maybe
shit off
not.
her shoe.
That no, you might be right, because Pansy and Draco were still Pansy and Draco Pansy and Draco were still really close in this fic. And so you're probably right that, yeah, it wouldn't have worked because of how much they hate Ron. There's no way that Pansy would have been into that.
I feel like Pansy was only in this fic though to kind of be that little shocking
Yeah.
thing that it was her. I wish she would have been in it a little bit more. I don't know. Just because she was just kind of in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is true.
Like she was only there to be this. And then I don't
know. I wrote down a quote that Ginny said to Hermione when she's finding out how long it's been since Hermione's had sex. She says, I hope it hasn't closed up.
And then in like the next chapter she mentioned
something about it drying up, right?
Yeah, something about like it was drying up or need to dust it off
Needed
or something.
to dust it off.
I was like, okay.
Man,
everybody needs an honest friend in their life that will say those things to them.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily for you two, you have me. You're welcome.
I'm glad you said I didn't have to.
I know myself. I don't.
We share a lot of very personal things together on Marco Polo. If anyone were to listen to our Marco Polos,
they'd be very concerned.
little bit, and a little shocked, I think. Anyway, so I keep squeaking. I'm not meaning to squeak when I laugh. I don't do that, and I'm squeaking. Anyway, another thing that I really liked was George Weasley. Well, obviously George and Fred Weasley. Okay, there we go. Favorite characters right there. George says to Hermione and Ron, so this is towards the end when they're at the Hogwarts Quidditch match and they go to Hogsmeade and she goes into Weasley's Wizard Wheezes that's opened up there. And then finds out that Ron is actually managing the store. And he walks up to her and George tells them, now you two go and have an incredibly awkward conversation and speak up because I'll be listening. I'm like, yes. I love George Weasley so much. He's great. He's better when his twin is alive too, because I love his twin.
Would you bring this up?
I was actually going to, and I was gonna say, is it rude to say that like Fred and George are your favorite when Fred's the dead one? So like, shouldn't Fred be like? I was gonna say, is that rude?
That's so sad. I love Fred. He was definitely the more daring of the two. If you ever catch that in the books, he's definitely absolutely the one that's like, oh no, we're doing this. Oh more, yeah, this, and this. And George is kind of like, okay, well, cool down, Freddie. Like,
he's the
think about this.
He's the one that just makes sure they don't go into jail. Like he's absolutely on board for most things, and then like we gotta dial it back so we don't, go to Azkaban. So.
Yep. Oh, they rounded each other out so well. Rip Fred. Anyway,
I really feel like Queen Charlotte, the sorrows.
Prayers.
I'm so sorry for you. Let's move on.
Another thing. This is another it's earlier in the story when they're having their little dinner, his little party to introduce him to society. And they're sitting at the huge dinner table and Liam is like, I can't be in Slytherin because my mom is a muggle-born. And she's just going, please, give me a break. I don't know what to do. Wait, what? I don't know what to do. And then Lucius
defended
absolutely, yes, is like, well, Slytherin would have been really lucky to have your mom, in their house or whatever. And it's like, whoa, hey dude.
And he even put it in such a way of like, well, that's the those prejudices.
That's the old man thinking.
That's a problem for the old men. You guys are like different. And I was like, if only all of the people did that. Oh, I know. It's fine, but yeah, no.
Yep. It was that moment. This is gonna come off really bad, and I'm so sorry for everybody listening. But it was that moment that I thought he could get it. I'm so sorry. It was though. I've never once thought that about Lucius, but it was that moment that I was like, I see you in a new light, man.
Oh my gosh.
I can't say I disagree.
So you can't say you disagree.
Well, okay, but not necessarily because of that. That part wasn't what got me onto Lucius, but like, come on. Every now and then, like when you're scrolling through TikTok and it's like, okay, well, here's the characters with the long, blonde or white hair. Lucius is always on that list, and he's always really good looking.
Not the actor that played him.
I like the actor who played him. I love Jason Isaacs. I met him once.
Jason, you met him?
Comic-Con. So
I love Jason Isaacs.
Super cute. I liked him. So.
Oh, he's fantastic. He's such a great person too. He's just awesome. He's a great actor. He's great. I loved him as Captain Hook and Wendy's dad.
Did you watch?
Because he plays both.
That's where I fell in love with him.
Was it a documentary that they did for like the 10, 20 year or whatever, where he was talking about like auditioning. He's like, I didn't really want to be two kids villains, but I was so mad at the audition, and that's exactly what they wanted, so I gave it. And he was
That's so funny. I love that. No, Tom Felton talks about him in his book
Memoir?
and
Memoir? Is that the right
about biography,
word? Okay, that.
pretty much
autobiography.
means the same
Nope.
thing.
No, what's
It's
an
what he
autobiography?
wrote.
Autobiography, someone else writes it about that person.
Wow, I'm just an idiot. Anyway, his biography, he talks about Jason Isaacs and how awesome it was to act with him. He's like, this guy would literally be cracking jokes left and right, and then all of a sudden they'd say
Right back in
action,
it.
and it was just immediately back to Lucius Malfoy, and you could, it was like, whoa, this guy could act. Yeah, and he loved it. Loved it. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, he was just amazing." And I'm like, "Man, there's just some actors I just want to meet him. I want to meet him." And he played such a great Lucius Malfoy. He really did. He nailed it.
The problem is, I don't think we'll ever get him on the podcast now that I've said that.
I don't think Jason Isaacs would be interested in being on a Dramati podcast. What would we have him read?
I want to get everybody. I want to get everybody.
We'd make him read The Auction because I like him in The Auction. Do you not?
What? That's fine.
We've all read that one.
Yeah, I was trying
That's
to think.
fine.
I was like, I actually kind of want him to
I
read
started-
one that he's the worst, where he dies or something.
Thinking about Manacled, and I was like, that's not the same.
We could make him read Bring Him to His Knees. He's in that one, and he's really bad in that one. That's why I mentioned that one.
No.
Low-key want Tom Felton to read that one. It's fine. I
No,
wanna see his reaction.
I want Tom Felton to read Remain Nameless.
Okay.
I want
Yeah,
him to read
whoever-
Remain Nameless.
Whoever told Tom Felton, like, read Manacled, like, as his first Hermione fan fiction, shame on all of you.
Shame on you.
As the first one, come on, guys. That one's scarring.
Yes, very, very emotionally scarring. Beware of the tags. They're there for your protection.
I find it funny and sad that that's a lot of people's very first fan fiction.
I know.
And I'm just like,
it's
that
like the most
hurts.
popular one out there. It really is. It's so well written.
Mhm.
Senlin Yu, fantastic job. Really, fantastic job. You hurt my heart in so many ways I
Yeah.
didn't know was possible. So
Created a
thank
fan
you.
fiction that I both love, like, that I have to like,
Yes.
but I hate it at the same time.
Yep. Mhm.
So
Yep. It was so good and it was so awful. But it was very, very good. So
yeah, to be the first fan fiction, if that's the first fan fiction you ever read, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because honestly, like,
had I started with that one, we
probably
would not be
come back
discussing
to it,
Hermione right
yeah.
now. We would
Like,
not. Nope.
that's one where it's either like, okay, you'll never come back to it, or nothing will live up.
Yep.
So anyway,
We have veered so far.
Sorry.
Of course.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have.
my dog, I'm sorry, just woke up and he looks so disoriented. Like, he is like sitting there staring into the abyss right now. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, I'll try to get us back on track. So I felt like this story pulled me in immediately. I
Yeah.
don't know if you both felt
It's
that
kind
or
of a
not.
right off the bat.
It was the synopsis, obviously. I mean, I was interested in that, but then, I mean, literally, first chapter is, she walks in, and then all of a sudden, Draco Malfoy flews into their home, and she hears his voice first, and is like, "Oh no, this isn't happening." And I go, "Oh, it's happening. This is happening, girl. Let's get this started." And we did. We did so quickly. So I liked that the story pulled me in that quickly. And another question though that we had about this was, was this a fic of like instant love, or was this a relationship that progressed organically? I feel like
You could almost say both.
yeah.
I know, you can argue both.
Mm-hmm. I really do, because it's like she's had
he was
this
going
connection.
to call her
Yeah.
Mhm.
after.
And he waited like a good boy so that he didn't seem desperate. Poor boy.
Like I would have been desperate.
Man, and this fic, it was just so fluffy. The way that he loves her is so cute. When he tells her that he's falling in love with her, and then she says that I think the next chapter that she thinks she's falling in love with him too, and he goes, "Oh, Granger, I've already touched the ground. It's great down here," or something like that. He says something so cute.
And then he said
And I'm
something about
like,
now that I've had you, I'm not planning on letting you go.
I'm like,
Kicking my feet over here.
yeah.
Blushing,
Yep.
giggling, kicking my feet.
He has that effect on us, okay? But yeah, no, that one was good. I liked the progression, that it was enough of a relationship build, but while still being instant love, but it wasn't it was more believable, I guess.
Yeah, I felt like she had all the 6 years of angst all bottled up inside, thinking about that one magical night she had, and then, ooh, I've got this present. I love it when she shares her birth story with him when he's feeling completely down after spending his first day alone with him, and he's like, he hates me. He absolutely hates me. What did I do wrong? And it's just because he was giving the other kids attention because he was, basically Uncle Draco to Albus and James. And so it's like he's not going to ignore them, but he didn't think that'd be any sort of an issue. And so, when he comes back to the apartment, he brings them food, he puts them to bed, or she puts him to bed, and then they're talking, and she just feels like she needs to share it with him. I loved that. I loved that she decided that he came 5 weeks early. I was terrified. They told me he's going to probably have all of these different issues. He's going to have to go to the NICU. She explains what the NICU is because it's a muggle term, all this stuff. And, he was born, and we went home 2 days later because he was completely healthy and totally fine. And he's been the best gift that I've ever had. It's just sweet. It's so cute. And I liked that because it's like, yeah, he's missed out on this entirety. Like, this is such a huge thing for somebody all of a sudden. Oh, boom, you have a 6-year-old child. What?
Kids are not easy.
Not knowing anything about them, not, just having it shoved right up your ass. Hey, I mean, that's obviously not what happened because, well, that's not how you can see. Sorry.
I also don't think anything went in his ass.
That's true. Anyway, so
Tracy's like, just stop talking, both of you.
I just thought it was so cute and fluffy. I really did. I thought this fic did a really good job making it fluffy. And it's just, yeah.
Good feel good one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good
definitely
quick read
feel good.
I read it today. So.
Yep. So did I.
I read it in maybe 2 hours. It was quick.
58,000 words. Yep.
That means nothing to me.
Okay. The equivalent of 58,000 words.
I know. Yeah, we have to do
disgusting. Hang on, because oh my god.
It's disgusting.
It's because 58,000 words, that's the equivalent of the Hunger Games book.
Is that?
No. Something.
No, I feel like Hunger Games is double that.
Word count.
I was gonna say
I'm talking about the first book. Okay, it is double that.
I was gonna say, no, I think I had looked that up recently actually to see how long Hunger Games was.
Yeah, because it's not quite double that.
That's exactly what I compare these to because we don't have an actual book with pages, and it's like I can't see how big it is, depending on how many words there are. And so I usually compare them to the Harry Potter books. I think Harry Potter #1, I could be completely wrong. I want to say it's in the 70,000 word count.
Okay, hold on. There's literally a list of 50,000 word novels.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm like, guys, I have the books right here. Let me just count the words.
God. The most popular ones, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, is 46,000.
Really?
The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks, 52,000.
That's it?
The Great Gatsby.
Just a couple hour read. Yes.
Trying to look if there's any of these other ones.
So short. Wow.
I know. Those. Yeah, The Great Gatsby.
There's a bunch of other ones, but I've never read any of them, so I don't.
I'm pretty sure watching The Notebook would take longer than reading it.
Yeah, Philosopher's Stone is 76,000 words.
So a little bit less than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, it was an easy, short read. Really feel good. What would you both rate this?
The rating.
I know.
I think overall, I would probably rate it like a 4.25. It gets like a slight dock for the grammatical errors, because every now and then I'd have to like shake myself out of it to be like, and have to like reread something because I had to kind of fix it. Didn't happen as much as I thought. The grammatical errors, there was the one that Holly, of course, had to bring back into my mind.
Oh, I was gonna write down a couple more
the
because
spoon
yeah,
turned into a cup.
there were more that I had to reread over and over and over again because it wasn't just, like, oh, bad commas,
Yeah,
this
no,
shouldn't
there
be
wasn't a
there.
lot of
It was
that.
wording. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what? What's happening
So I
right
did have
now?
to tweak that.
Yeah.
So it gets a teeny tiny dock for that.
Yeah.
But no, overall, I'm a sucker for these kind of stories. So 4.25 is what I give it out of 5, obviously.
I'd probably just give it a 4 out of 5. I liked it. It was cute. Yeah, there were some errors, some grammatical stuff that like as you're reading it, you have to kind of take a pause so it's not as like seamless. Like I said, I do think that it was a little bit rushed in certain places.
Yeah.
And just there were a couple of things with like some of the characters, like specifically, I think Hermione acted weird in the beginning and then she like changed at the end.
Yeah, it wasn't really like because she was acting weird in the beginning, and we never really got a full explanation of why, and then she was just all of a sudden kind of changed. So
it just like little things like that would probably, but I liked it. I would read it again, 100%. This is one of those that like you're in the mood for something cute, easy, fast to read with a little bit of like that pregnancy in there. Bing, bang, boom.
Yep. I agree. It's funny because as I'm thinking about how I'm going to rate this, I'm going, okay, you guys are, bringing up really good points and everything. And I was originally going to give it a 3. And I've amended it. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
You went from a 3
that's
to
a giant
4.5.
Listen. Okay. So because I rated this before we got on here to do this, and I rated it as a 3, and I gave it a bad rating because of the grammatical errors. There were so many, and it was really hard to follow in certain places. The biggest part that was hard to follow was actually their pickup Quidditch match. So he was letting Liam know, like, hey, do you want to ride with me? And he goes, no, my mom says that they're dangerous. 1 in 4 people have a flying accident. He's rattling off facts. He goes, okay, well, normally I play with Albus, so I'm going to like explaining to him that he's going to put Albus on his broom with him and he's going to play with him. And he goes, that's fine. And he goes over and he picks up his book like he doesn't care. And then Draco, it says something along the lines of he picked him up and put him on the front of his broom and then kicked off with Liam. And then it said something about Liam being on the ground watching them. And I'm like, okay, so you meant Albus, but then there was something else about the same paragraph that didn't make sense. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening right now? I don't know what's going on. Like, okay. And so I ended up having to just skip it. And there were several times that it was like, okay. But then, as we're talking about this and everything, I'm like, okay, you know what? I explained this in the beginning. This is a fan fiction. This is not a perfect work of art. So can I really dock them that much for it? You know what? No, I cannot. So I docked them a lot for that. So if I take that away, I loved this fic. It was so cute and fluffy. I loved it. But also, I mean, 4.5 out of 5. It would have made it higher, except for certain things like that. And I also felt I really did. Yes, it was short and it was still well rounded, but I did feel like they could have added a bit more to certain situations and certain characters, like what we were talking about with chapter 3, when it's like, oh yeah, no, you send that solicitor after her. You do something, make her grovel. Make her feel something.
I don't think she said I'm sorry to him until like chapter 7.
Yeah.
Like make her say the words.
Yeah. They both have an issue with
I don't
that.
even remember her apologizing for that.
It was something so little too. It was like anticlimactic of like, oh yeah, I hope you know, like I am sorry. And then it like moved on immediately.
Yeah. And I really liked the growth of their relationship. I liked their communication that they had. So there were a couple of times when where Hermione was getting really upset with him over something kind of trivial, not so trivial. I mean, she was saying, "Oh, we're going to have a small dinner party." And then Narcissa throws a huge thing to introduce Liam to people, and she gets infuriated with Draco because, I mean, she just goes in and she sees Draco just nonchalantly standing there watching everything happen around him, and she's like, "Are you kidding? Oh, absolutely not. You're not doing this to my child, you know." And so and she says that, "You can't do this to my son." And he goes, "Okay, number one, our son. And number two, I walked in here 15 minutes ago. You're joking." Like, you know, and she actually takes a step back and tells him, "You're right. I'm sorry." She does it twice in this fic where she takes a step back and she says, "You're right. I'm sorry." And he's like, "Wow, that was easy. Thank you." Thanks for making that easy and not making this an actual fight. You know, something in my personal life I could probably take some advice on.
Oh, I'm never gonna admit when I'm wrong. I do not care. I will gaslight the hell out of Ben until he admits that I'm right.
You, Carrie Ann. So, have you ever seen Downton Abbey? Either of you?
No.
Violet Crawley, played by Dame Maggie Smith, aka Minerva McGonagall.
Love her.
By the by.
Love her.
You, Carrie Ann, she says a quote that makes me die every time.
Is it Shrek related? Because apparently
no, it's not. This person says, "Oh, how you hate to be wrong," and McGonagall says, "I wouldn't know. I'm not familiar with the sensation." That's you.
Right.
That's you. It's fine.
I am right, and I will always be right, and I will change everything around me to make it so I am right, and I will never, ever, ever admit when I'm wrong. I don't care.
Everyone listening, that is correct. That is how she is.
That's right. You say it's right.
So funny. Oh man, it's so funny. Anyway, I gave it a 4.5. Although it only made so. Again, I'm bringing my list into this because I keep a running list of all the Hermione's I've read, except for one shots. I don't add one shots onto here. They're not long enough. I don't add them on. I don't read them. Anyway, I've read a few, handful. Anyway,
because I made you.
That's right. Anyway, so obviously number one is Remain Nameless. Everybody knows that. It can't be moved. It's never been moved. But I have all the way up to 70 right now. So I've read 70 different Hermione's. And I put these in order of how I've rated them between each other. So it's like, okay, I liked this one more than I liked this one, so it's going to be above that one, you know. So I kind of go like that. This list is getting too long. It's getting too hard to actually do this because now I'm starting to forget. Hire me an assistant. I'm starting to forget. Oh, what was this one about? Why did I rate it here? Like what, you know, whatever. Anyway, but then there are some bigger markers that it's like, oh yeah, it's definitely better than that one, you know, whatever. But this one fell at number 42. But I think the reason I'd put it there, because I read this one initially several months ago when I first read this one, when Tracy sent it. And I think I put it there because of the grammatical errors. Because I was like, I can't handle it. It's too much. But then rereading it, I'm like, oh, melting for Draco Malfoy. Oh, and Liam Granger. So cute. Anyway, so going back through this, I'm like, oh, it needs to move. It probably needs to.
Good luck with that.
Move. And actually, I would say to number 31. I'm moving it to number 31. Only because I'm looking at the two that are there, and I know I liked it less than that one, and I liked it more than the one next to it. Yes.
You just glitched. Did it glitch on your end, Tracy?
Yes, it did.
No.
Okay.
Damn it.
Now it's better.
I was gonna say you're fixed now.
Oh, good.
You glitched
what
for
was
a
I
second
saying?
and it wasn't matching, like the video wasn't matching your
Oh.
mouth words,
Oh
whatever.
no.
Yeah, you
should I
you, like,
re-say
paused
that?
line. Yeah,
No.
it was just
Okay. No, I don't need to. I don't need to. I'm just moving it. The whole moral of this story was I am moving Apparecium from number 42 to number 31. That's all.
It's a large
That's all I'm
jump.
doing. I've read this one twice.
Who is in 31 that you're bumping down?
She's glitching a lot. Is it just me?
No, it's not just you.
5 days.
5 days. That's what we heard.
No, crap. Bryce,
There we go.
I'm glitching a lot. Your internet connection is unstable. Damn it. Is our internet down? I'm asking my husband.
It's funny to hear the words before I see your mouth move.
Okay, now it looks like it's fixed for a minute. Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything's wrong with our internet, except it did pop up on the screen saying that your internet connection is
unstable.
Yes.
I can relate.
I am unstable.
I never have that issue.
I'm sorry.
We rarely have that issue because guess what? My husband works for a tech company and he's very, very techy and very, very good at what he does. And if our internet goes down, it's fixed magically for me. Anyway, it took the spot of 5 days. The fic was called 5 days, that it's taking its spot. But it's after Who I Was With You.
I don't know either of those.
It's okay. They're on our fic list.
Oh God, okay.
Anyway, I did like that one. I really liked how you finish reading that fic and you just feel good. You just feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it. I think it's rereadable.
Yes, it is.
Obviously, it's better the second time around for me. Pun intended.
The smut in it wasn't.
I don't get it either. That wasn't a pun.
I apparently was not listening to you.
You were thinking about smut.
I was thinking about smut.
It was a more of a. That's what she said. That's what I meant.
Oh my God.
Thank you. I was like, I don't get the joke.
Yeah, no, it was a bad joke. But you know, that's why my biography on the website matches me really well. My jokes are not my own.
Call that a biography. I don't know what I would call that, but not a biography.
I said biography. I didn't say. Did I say auto?
No, you said biography.
Oh.
I wouldn't call that a biography.
Oh.
I don't know what I would call it, but that's a little like
a synopsis of myself.
I guess it is a fucking biography.
I'm like, what does bio mean?
Fucking stupid.
Thank goodness it's not just me this time. Ooh, it's usually just me. I'm usually the blonde, you know, the stereotypical.
Which is funny.
Blonde.
I think I'm the only natural blonde in the group.
Are you blonde?
Yeah,
I am a natural blonde. Yeah. Wow. Which is why when you look at me, that's why I'm not a blonde, because it doesn't
fit. A blonde, brunette, and a redhead walk into a bar.
It's the beginning of a bad joke.
Oh, all the bad jokes of my childhood were blondes, brunettes, and redheads.
I have some like blonde streaks in my hair right now, but that's about it.
What are you all reading this week? I'm reading A Court of Silver Flames. That's the book I'm on now. I know. Look at me go. Look at me go.
Oh,
I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
I'm very proud of you for making it to that.
Thanks. I know. I'm all about Hermione. Before we got on this podcast, I was listening to Remain Nameless.
Oh my God.
Of course you were.
I finished that book, Morbidly Yours, finally, and I am reading, I'm audiobooking because it's on Spotify has audiobooks now with premium, and so I'm gonna try and actually
only like 16 hours though.
Is it monthly?
Yeah.
Okay, and
but there's only so many hours you get a month.
And I don't listen to enough audiobooks.
Oh, is it like an actual published work?
Yeah,
okay.
Because I'm listening to I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. And I read or I listened to it at work because I work in an office once every pay period, and I was like so horrified by some of her stories. And I'm just like, oh my god! So it's good. I can't believe I waited this long to jump on that train because it was really popular when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can't believe you're gonna listen to an audiobook.
I know.
I'm shocked.
I told my mother what the title was, and she's like, "Why would you read that?" It's really funny.
Because you'd read it too, Mom. That's why. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I am reading a book by Claire Sager. I think that's how you pronounce her name. A Kiss of Iron. It's apparently pretty popular. I've seen it all over TikTok.
Yeah.
No, because it's gonna be the holidays, so we're gonna be too busy.
Yep.
Seeing family and packing and all that boring stuff.
Yeah.
I am reading A Court of Silver Flames, and I will finish that, and I will immediately jump back into Hermione because I can't stop.
Well,
can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. I'm at 70, 71.
Holly, you're forgetting. When you finish Silver Flames,
yeah, you have 2 more books to go. Don't you worry.
City.
I know.
Like you forget.
My sister has those on audio, so I don't have to wait for the library to get them in.
I can't wait for you to meet my baby. Sure.
I thought you're caressing your boobs.
I would. To Hunt, I would. He's one of those.
I don't know.
Like
I'm
Draco Malfoy. If he walked up to me on the street, no words would need to be said. I would strip right then, right there. He could do whatever he wanted to, and I would just nod along.
I love
There's
him.
few people like that, and Draco's one of them. Hunt's
I want
one of them.
him.
Rowan is one of them.
Rowan.
Want. Desire entirely.
Oh, we missed it.
What did I miss? I was in my own little world. Uh-oh.
She mimed something.
I showed how appreciative of Rowan I would be.
Oh, show me again.
It's just we have to keep this in, right?
Have you seen the grapefruit video? The grapefruit technique?
No, but I can imagine what it is.
You haven't seen it?
You gotta send it to me. No, I haven't.
I don't know if I have either.
Oh.
You both are lying to me right now. You're dead serious. You've never seen the grapefruit technique.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't really know what you're talking about.
This is one of those moments. I don't want to say that you guys are old, but
dude, I'm turning 30. I'm going to turn 30 this next year.
How old am I?
You're 27.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wasn't sure if I was turning 28, 29.
Guys, I am so freaking depressed right now. We were talking about how you need to read Crescent City. That's how we got started on this, by the way.
Okay.
What a turn
okay.
that took.
Hang on. Let me say our last bit. If I can. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Be sure to join us next time as we discuss The Downfall of Us All by Jem Joy. Hermione Fanfic Fanatics is a fan podcast that discusses and reviews fanfiction written by various authors based on the characters Hermione Granger and Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter series, created and owned by J.K. Rowling. We do not own the rights to the Harry Potter series, its characters, or any of the fanfiction works mentioned in this podcast. The purpose of our podcast is to provide commentary, analysis, and entertainment related to the fanfiction community and to foster a sense of community among fans. We respect the creative efforts of fanfiction authors and consider their works as transformative interpretations of the original source material. All fanfiction works discussed on this podcast are the intellectual property of their respective authors. We aim to provide proper attribution and promote the fanfiction community by linking the author's original works where possible. This podcast is created for entertainment purposes and is not intended to infringe upon the rights of the copyright holders. If you are the author of a fanfiction work discussed on this podcast and would like us to remove or modify our content related to your work, please contact us and we will promptly address your request. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge and agree to the terms of this disclaimer.